you guys hear me?
Zach, right?
Is this working? Okay, normally I hate using the microphone, but I do have a little bit of a cold. And when I try to, talk loudly, I end up coughing a lot. I'll probably cough anyway, but this might help make it a little bit less annoying. My name is Maris. Welcome, everybody, to Startup Week in DC. My name is Maris, and I work for Startup Weekend. I'm here to facilitate this event. I'm the community manager at Startup Weekend, and now that all of you guys are here, you're part of the Startup Weekend community, so it's very likely at some point I will email you, asking you for something, survey, feedback, whatever. So that's me. If there's anything you'd like me to know about your experience at Startup Weekend, please go ahead and send me an email. You guys truly are why I have a job and why Startup Weekend's here. So we are all about two-way communication. I'll even give you my email address, maris@startupweekend.org. It couldn't be simpler than that. So I hope to hear from some of you guys in the future. We're going to go ahead and kick things off. We're already running behind schedule, so I don't want to waste any more time. I'd like to get right to the pitches, but before that we have a couple of announcements and just general things that will help, I think, make the weekend a little clearer in your minds and kind of prepare you for what's going to happen the next 2 days. Just quickly, how many of you have been to Startup Weekend before? Can you just raise your hands? Okay, that's actually a pretty good number. Have you been to the Startup Weekend here in DC previously? Yes? Okay, so a lot of you actually went, the ones who've been to Startup Weekends before wasn't here in DC. That's really cool. I really like it when you can explore other startup ecosystems and bring the ideas and the energy and the connections you made there to a place like this. It's really great. Okay, so we're going to kick it off. This is, in addition to being Startup Week in DC, it's also Global Entrepreneurship Week. Obviously, Global Entrepreneurship Week, as the name suggests, is much bigger than DC. It's bigger than the United States. It really is a global initiative of the Kauffman Foundation to really make entrepreneurs kind of self-identify, one, and then also, talk to each other, because oftentimes being an entrepreneur is a solitary thing, and it's really cool for people outside of entrepreneurial networks to see what's happening, what entrepreneurs are doing, that there are a lot of us. We're everywhere. We do really cool things. We build companies, we create jobs, and it's easier to do that when we kind of all, at one time, in one voice, stand up and say, here we are, we're real, and we really are a force to be reckoned with. So that's happening last weekend, all this past week, and then this is the last weekend of GEW. So it's kind of cool that we're participating in that in addition to this event here. All right, next slide. So what is Startup Weekend? We are a nonprofit based out of Seattle, Washington, and we seek to be the world's best experiential education for entrepreneurs. So we're not here to lecture at you. We're not here to have you be passive vessels that we're just filling you with our knowledge. We really want you guys to learn entrepreneurship by doing it. And I hope all of you realize that, and that is why you're here, because if not, surprise! So Startup Weekend is, it's a small organization. There's only 12 of us who work for Startup Weekend full-time, but we're a big organization in the sense that we've held over 300 events. We're at over 35,000 alumni. It's constantly changing. As you can see, lots of countries, tons of cities, lots of startups which come out of it. So there's some proof in the pudding there. It's not just the weekend workshop. Great companies actually do come out of connections that are made at the weekends. So that's obviously really exciting. Next. Okay, just a couple of things. Please do tweet the event. I think we're having 37 events happening just for Startup Weekend this weekend, and I would hate to have to go back to Seattle and have people be like, wow, your event had absolutely no tweets. What were you doing, Maris? So I'd really like if I could go back and be like, we were better than you. We tweeted more. We were more excited. We were more involved. So please, Startup Battle, GEW, and then our own event hashtag, which is SW_DC.
And if you did not send me your Twitter handle, so we can follow you from the Startup Weekend DC account, please see me sometime throughout the weekend. We're going to do that. Because we want to know what you guys are up to. We're living regular lives, maybe something cool happening.
Obviously, the GEW is for Global Entrepreneurship Week. Obviously, the SW_DC is for our event. The third one, Startup Battle, is for something really cool that Startup Weekend's doing called Global Startup Battle. And it's for all of the events happening last weekend and this weekend. And I will talk about that more in an upcoming slide. But that's what that's for. I don't know, obviously food is going to be this weekend where it was with the pizzas. So that's going to be the food area anytime, for meals and snacks and whatnot. That's where the food will always be. On this floor, the bathrooms are past the elevator bank and then to the right. On the 7th floor, I'm not sure, but when we find out, we'll let you know.
It's on the same side of the building, past the receptionist desk, on the right as well.
So there you go. We're on the 5th floor tonight, and we'll be back here for final presentations. Tomorrow, on the 7th floor, there are some breakout rooms. So for teams that are interested in that, you do have that option of doing a breakout room. But we will be doing breakfast and whatnot down here. And then for the Wi-Fi, I know a bunch of you guys were asking about that. Here's the username and password. I was told that if everybody goes on at once, we can overload the system and it can get a little upset and we'll have to get a new password, which isn't a big deal. It's just, if it happens, come and let me know, because that way I can get a new username and password for us and we'll be back online in no time. I will also email the slide deck out to everybody so that tomorrow you can access all this information, including obviously the vital username and password for the internet. This schedule, as you guys already know, is a little more tentative in some parts than is others. Obviously, we started late tonight, so it's going to be pushed back. We're going to try to stick to our schedule tomorrow. I think 8:30 is, we're kicking off tomorrow morning, so we'll have a little bit more time tomorrow morning. But this is, at least a general roadmap of what the weekends will look like in terms of the schedule. Okay, Dennis is going to say a quick word about our local sponsors.
So, yeah, that's basically everybody who has sponsored us to make the events really awesome, to improve the food and whatnot. And first of all, great thanks to Microsoft and their BizSpark program for providing this wonderful space. Ashish is going to do a little more information about BizSpark later on. Ashish is in the back, but he's going to come up a bit later. He's going to give you all the details about how awesome it is if you're working with Microsoft technologies. Pillsbury Law is one of DC's prime startup law firms, and Steve Kaplan will be here tomorrow to answer a whole bunch of cool legal questions, and we'll have some more information about how to submit the questions to him. He's going to be coming around lunchtime. InfoChimps has provided us with access to, given you the access to their data sets. If your idea is going to deal with a lot of data, figuring out what's out there, come talk to us. We're going to give you all the access information for InfoChimps, and they're also provided the prizes for their API access for the first, second, and third prize. GeekEasy is DC's newest and most awesome co-working space. If you haven't heard about it yet, it's in the U Street area. Huge space. It's used to be a laundromat. Really wonderful. They just opened up barely in the last month. They also provided a prize, the 6 months for the first team and 1 month for the second team. BizFilings is an online incorporation company that is offering for the second prize there, the second place, they are offering an incorporation package, and they've got some information on our blog if you want to check it out. They've got some brief overviews of the incorporation process. AOL, the local guys, the big local guys, thanks to them, you meet somebody from them sometime this weekend. We will not say who exactly it is. This is going to be a surprise. ThinkGeek is probably DC's biggest secret. They're headquartered out in Fairfax, really wonderful online retailer of geek toys. They have provided us with a bunch of prizes that we will be giving away throughout the weekend. So do your best. We're not disclosing categories so that nobody cheats, but they're going to be really, really awesome prizes. You'll see some tonight, others throughout the weekend. And ThinkGeek has also provided some certificates for the third place team. And Seamless, as you might have heard in DC, sorry for the news one, they are an online food ordering company. They are expanding in DC area, and we're gonna have some giveaways from them as well. Widget Labs is one of our local premium development shops. Some of the people should be here, and others will be coming throughout the weekend. And that's it. So yeah, that was our big commercials.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay. I'd also like to say a big thank you to our global sponsors, because they are what really make, I think, our events even more meaningful for you guys. And I think almost everyone up here has resources that are available to each and every one of you as attendees of Startup Weekend. Some of the credits are to be redeemed as a team, and some of the credits are to be redeemed individually. But I will also email the resources out to you guys tonight. I know it's going to be a late night and it's early morning, but please do make an effort to look at those, because some of them really are pretty awesome and might help you make some decisions about how you're going to structure your startup or what it might look like, because it's good credits. You really can get something good started on the platforms, or using the credits or redeeming codes for those resources. So please do check that out when I send the email. I'm really excited to note that Startup Weekend has just published our first book. I hope the first of many, but that came out just 2 weeks ago, and we're going to be giving away some copies here at the event. But it's really exciting for us because it was a community effort. People like you who came to the weekends, who were able to make a great connection and find a co-founder, or found a wonderful mentor, or had a startup that saw really cool success, or sometimes just really failed and wanted to let other people know and kind of, don't repeat the same mistakes I did. But it's a book full of our best practices, our methodology, kind of a virtual roadmap of the weekend. And I hope after this weekend you guys realize that nothing beats being here in a room with other like-minded individuals. But the book is a great way to kind of virtually experience the weekends and have some good takeaways. So I'm not saying that to plug it for you guys to buy it, but just know it's out there as a resource. And it was written not just by us, but by people just like you as well. So we're really proud of that. Okay, I touched on global entrepreneurship again, so I'll just really kind of briefly skim over it. But it truly is global. I think there are millions of people who are involved in this whole initiative. It's the second or third year that the Kauffman Foundation has done it, and it really is a very cool thing. If you guys are really interested in entrepreneurship and you want opportunities to travel outside of DC, outside of the country, meet people who are doing some really incredibly innovative and disruptive things, Global Entrepreneurship Week is a great time to find those events and meet those people and get connected to large networks. I think I'll do the next slide. Yeah, these are some of the highlights of what's happening for GEW this year. I'm not going to read them, but suffice to say that good prize money, really good incentives, great people, and if you are looking for something bigger or beyond Startup Weekend, GEW is a great place to find that. Okay, also, Global Startup Battle, which I mentioned earlier, is something that Startup Weekend is doing. We did it last year, and we're going to do it again this year. It's the first prize winner from every event that happened last weekend and this weekend globally. First prize winner, or the first placing team, is eligible to enter Global Startup Battle. And basically, you, as a team, submit your 1-minute video to us. We put it up on our Facebook page and our website, and everybody in the global community gets to vote to see which of those 60 teams they think has the best startup idea. I don't know what the best might be to you, but whatever you think the best is, you get a vote for that team. And then we have really, really great prizes this year. We're really excited about. They're prizes that are intended to really let you take the momentum that you've gotten from winning Startup Weekend and then winning the battle and really create a splash with your startup. It's an incorporation package, PR help, table launch pad, possibly being able to go to Demo Asia, and then web design and branding. Things that a startup really, really needs, but oftentimes doesn't know how to get, can't afford, or doesn't maybe decides that it would be great to have, but maybe not now. We're going to give it all to you so that you can make the most of this opportunity to really make a splash with your startup. Okay, so you guys are not here to listen to me talk. You're here to pitch and form teams. So basically, we're going to give you 60 seconds to pitch your idea. And it really truly is 60 seconds. I have an incredibly loud clap and a timer, and I will cut you off at 60.5 seconds. So make sure you cram it all in there. Our general rule of thumb is to say, who you are, what's the problem or pain point you've seen, what's your solution for it, and then who do you need? What other talent do you need? And that's a really important thing to try to remember to do. I know 60 seconds goes by incredibly quickly, but it's good for other people to know, I'm a designer, I'm a graphic designer, and if you say, I'm a graphic designer, they might think, well, I don't know if they need another graphic designer on their team, or, I'm a marketer and I really need help with X, Y, or Z. There's going to be a lot of pitches, and that will help people kind of decide who they want to talk to, who they want to find out more about, and, it's a good idea. Okay, so after the pitching, and everybody who wants to pitch is welcome to. You can pitch more than one idea. I'd love if everybody in the room got up and pitched something. That would be like a dream come true. Hasn't happened yet, but this could be the first. So once you've heard all the pitches, everybody, it's like super old school what we do. Everybody gets 3 Post-it notes, and those Post-it notes are your votes. And after everybody pitches, they're going to get a piece of paper with a number on it, and that's their pitch number, clearly. After the pitches are done, there's 30 to 40 minutes of mingling and talking. You get to take your 3 Post-it notes and give them to the people who you thought had the most interesting pitch, or the pitch you'd most like to join, or the pitch you'd most like to know about. This is kind of round 1 of the voting. Obviously, if you divide your votes up among 3 different pitches, you can, as one person, work on 3 different ideas during the weekend. So this is just kind of like a vote of confidence, or like a or however you want to think about it in your own mind. This is just you saying, I think that's a cool idea, and I think that there's some potential. Once we've done that, and all the Post-it notes have been given to people, we're going to see which ideas sort of rise to the top as like a popular idea. And that's when round 2 of the voting happens. And it's up to the people who pitch the ideas that seem to be the most popular to go out and really recruit and solicit talent for their team. So it might be that you pitch an idea and there just isn't, for whatever reason, a lot of interest in this room or in this community or at this time. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea. It just means that your idea might not become, an idea that people work on over the weekends, and then you'll be not required, but you're expected to kind of be absorbed by a different team, or work really, really hard to recruit those 3 people that loved your idea. If your idea doesn't rise to the top, it doesn't mean that you're excluded and you can't, recruit talent around it. So it's the Post-it note pitching and then the voting with your feet, we call it. So those are the 2 phases of voting. Okay, make sure when you're building a team that you have complementary skill sets. It is not cool to have a team of 16 developers. Not cool. Like, do not do it. Like, you'll build something really awesome, but your PowerPoint presentation is going to suck. And if you're a team of 10 marketers, you're going to have no real product, but it's going to look awesome. And neither one of those things are good. So try really hard to step outside your comfort zone, talk to somebody who's not exactly like you, and get a really well-rounded team. I promise you it is so much better in the end. Okay, 54 hours goes by extraordinarily quickly, and I like thinking of it as kind of being like 52 hours because that corresponds with 52 weeks in a year. And if you think about that, if you have 1 year, that's this weekend, if you spend an hour talking about something, that is the entire week that you've wasted on this one discussion. So make sure you really think about how you're using your time very meaningfully, and these are kind of 3 steps that we think is great for project management. Dump all your ideas on the table. Even the stupid ones, just get it all out there. And then prioritize, what's worthwhile, what's going to work, what do we have time for, what's important. And then, what's the last one? Allocate and set deadlines. And that's really important to stick to, because otherwise you'll get caught in these circular conversations and the groupthink. The next thing you know, it's March and you haven't actually done anything. And it's really important to kind of try to keep everybody reined in. Some things that we recommend people do to help rein things in is, we love Roman voting. Yes, I like it. No, I hate it. I'm not convinced either way. And then it's just democracy rules, whichever people think. For the most part, you just go with it and run and do the best you can. There's other ones on here, but since I'm going to be sending you the slide deck, I'm not going to waste time talking about them. If they're unclear, you have questions, just come find me and I'd be happy to explain them more. Or any that you've used in the past, bring them to the table, share them. I'm sure people would love to hear about them. Okay, so idea validation. Everybody is going to be encouraged strongly to get some idea validation for their startup idea. That can be people in the room, it could be your mom, it could be your Facebook friends, it could be random people on the street. But the important thing is that you get outside of your own head and that your team talks to people that aren't just each other. Because obviously, if you're working as a team, you think your idea is really cool, but I mean, is it really that cool, or could it be cooler, or maybe you're going down the wrong path. So we really encourage people to kind of step outside of their own little team thought bubble and make sure that what they're doing matters, or is the best solution they can possibly come up with. This is because the judges are going to expect you to do that. Come presentations on Sunday, there are 3 things the judges are looking for. They're looking for a business plan, they're looking for a proof of concept or minimum viable product, and they're looking for some form of idea validation. So make sure that you're not just focusing on the first 2, because those are obviously very clear things judges will be looking for, but they really are expecting you to have some sort of idea validation, so don't forget about that one. Okay, and though it's a little premature to talk about presentations for Sunday, these are some of the things that judges do and don't like seeing. We're asking a lot of you guys in a 2.5-day period, and be as honest as you can. If you can't really do market research, say so. Don't just create hockey sticks. And 72% of all people say that since they have eyeballs, they like to read. I mean, like, really? So do the best you can, but always be honest and always try to be as close to the truth as you can be, given the constraints and resources that you have. We'll go through this again on Sunday, so that after everything that's happened over the next day and a half, I'm sure this will be the last thing you're thinking about. So we'll do a little refresher, but hopefully a little bit will stick. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to Ashish, who has a couple of things to say about Microsoft, and then we'll have our one more announcement, our speaker, and then pitches.
Hi guys, and girls, welcome. So, a couple of things, how many of you, you'll be building software, right, during 2 days. How many of you know about BizSpark? BizSpark? Oh, pretty few. So if you're building a software company, you need software, right? So Microsoft, if you're building on Microsoft platform, we have an offer for you. We'll give you free software for 3 years. To develop your software and to run it. Right? 3 years to develop your software and run it. And if you, in 3 years, if you're successful, you pay $100, exit out, and then you pay regular licenses of software. 3 years. If you're successful, what does that mean for a company? It means 3 years of running their business without paying anything for software licenses. The criteria to get that is you have to be a young company, less than 3 years old, right, and less than $1 million in software revenue. We expect if you're making more than $1 million in software revenue, then you can share some of that with us, right? So that's the criteria. The other thing I want to talk to you about is if you are building over this weekend on Windows Phone or thinking of building on or using Microsoft Cloud, Windows Azure, then I may hook you up with some free Azure and some phones. So, if you're building something really cool, specifically in solving real public sector problems, something around education, something around healthcare, something around challenging the state and local government's data and then putting some visualization around it, I can hook you up with Azure and phone. And you say, Ashish, I want to build for Windows Phone, but I don't have a phone, right? So can you give me a phone to just run my application? Yes, I can loan you a phone if you really want to build something on Windows Phone. So that's my offer over the weekend, and if you build it, you may get a phone. And come find me. I'm one of the mentors as well. I've done 2 startups before coming to Microsoft, right? So before I drank the Kool-Aid, I did 2 startups. Luckily, I figured it out in one piece. So, if you need any kind of guidance, help, whatever, just pull me. And I'm a techie, I'm a geek, I can write code. Okay? I don't promise that I'll write code for your company, but I can guide you. All right? Thank you very much.
Okay, and there's a really cool competition that's open right now that closes pretty soon that hopefully some of you guys are really interested and will capitalize on.
Hey guys, I think I saw a lot of you at the hackathon for DC Week. So I'm here to talk. My name is Asan Wardak. I work for the Small Business Administration, and I'm with the government. I'm here to help. There you go. That's right. So the Apps for Entrepreneurs Challenge is closing on Sunday at 11 p.m. Check it out, entrepreneurs.challenge.gov. $20,000 worth of prizes. To be honest with you, I think we're going to get like 5 submissions and there are 6 prizes. There's a really high probability that you're probably going to win some money. So I think it's worth considering, entrepreneurs.challenge.gov. I'm really excited to be here. This is my 3rd DC Startup Weekend. The first one was actually at Big Get Labs in Falls Church. And, yeah, there we go. So, and they're also a sponsor here. So even just as a little tip, even from that, I could probably name at least 10 to 20 entrepreneurs that actually started companies after that. Probably, and some of them actually got real venture funding. So, and I think we actually won or became 2nd place in the 2nd startup weekend. So enjoy, meet friends, take it easy. I'm sure you'll come up with something great and exciting by the end of the weekend.
Okay, don't take it too easy. We're here to work.